you did a track with Oli Sykes. Was that a big thing for the band at the time? Because that was extremely sort of successful.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a massive thing at the time. We'd like banged heads with Bring Me in earlier years. And actually, we actually buried the hatchet, if that's the right phrase. I think so.
Water under the bridge.
Yeah, actually at the wake, at Tom Searle's wake, we were all there, and it was a bit like, fucking hell, like, we're being a bit petty here. Like, something way bigger than all of us has just happened. We're a bit like, why are we like banging heads?
Was it over?
Girls.
Always. What else?
And like, yeah, it was a few years since, and it was a bit like the other band members. We were a bit like, why is there like any drama between us? So we kind of all made mates again. And then and Ollie was like, can I sing on this tune? It's quite funny actually. I sent him the song, and then he'd sent me like an audio file back where he'd like recorded something on it. And then the next text message said, I think your silence speaks volumes. And I thought that was a response, because I didn't respond to the audio message. It was like late, and I was like, I'll deal with that tomorrow. And then I read that, and I was like, all right, calm down. And then I listened to it, and I was like, oh, it's the lyric. I get it. I was like, fucking, get your toys in, Bram.
I mean, it's a cool fucking lyric, man.
Yeah, it is. It's so funny.
I wish you'd actually used a different lyric and sent you that, and you'd have been like, you know what?
Yeah.
This is cool.
Yeah,
and shit.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, and then it was in that URW time, and I think we'd done some shows with them just before this. Yeah, we'd done some shows, and so I think we'd actually we'd kind of made up, did some shows together, and then we were on this boat going to like fucking Tallinn for a show, and I was like on my, it was like everyone was in a karaoke bar, and I was on my laptop like launching Black Friday sales and like doing this thing, and I was fucking stressed. I'd taken photos of the merch on the boat, edited them, and I'm doing this at like, because like such a huge sales day that if you're like not doing something, you're just like missing out on like a big income moment, which we needed at the time. And I was like on my laptop, and I remember Ollie coming up and being like, are you really doing all that stuff? And I'm like, yeah. And he was like, we could help with like distroing some of your shit, or like doing customer care, because at Drop Dead they have like, which is like across the road from our warehouse, by the way, they have this like amazing distribution warehouse, all like chef legends basically working there. It's a very cool spot. And I got back from that tour and went for a meeting with like Carol, his mum, and the people who worked there, and they were like, yeah, we could distro the merch. Can't even think where we were distroing it from. Oh, we were distroing it from this tattoo shop in Scunthorpe, where I'd like had some friends there before. And yeah, it just became like the beginning of that. And then, because that was at the beginning of URW as well, he was seeing us, they were all seeing us do the warehouse and those things, and he was like, this is felt like a good time to just do something together. Yeah.
How does it work with like royalty splits and people getting paid on that?
In the band?
With guest vocals or guest.
It's always just up for discussion if someone wants a share for. I think Ollie did that and was like, I'm not here to take anything from it. I just wanted to do something cool. And then I'm always just like, we'll always credit whoever's in it, but do you want a percentage? Do you want a writing percentage? Do you want like a performing royalty? Like, it's just open in that thing. We're not like the same way as we do it in Sleeps in general. We're very open about our royalty splits change constantly throughout every song. Depends who did what. There's some songs where I'm like, I didn't do anything there, like, so take me out and put me in where I did something.
Does that create any tension if one song does really well and somebody hasn't earned?
No, because we're just we've always done it like that, and I think it's a really important part of. We learned quite early on that like we have to just like break down those walls of communication. Where we are like schoolmates, but you fast forward like 15 years, and we're like adults in the fucking business.
Yeah.
If we can't talk to each other about money or about these things, it's just going to fall apart. So we've had to be very straight with each other when like members are in a mess, or like everyone's been up and down through like mental health, addictions, all those things, that we've had lots of times where we've had to talk seriously to each other. Like Loz has had 3 throat surgeries. Like we've just and we've collectively all had so much mental health that we've always had to be like, we need to have a chat, we need to help people out, and by doing those things we got good at normalizing conversations about money and just keeping it legit. Like it's the same thing as if you have to be able to go, you've done the work. Like if you can't credit the person for doing the work, then there's something else going on.
Has that got easier as you've got older?
Yeah, it's got easier because we've done it.
Yeah.
If you just actively do something, then like eventually it won't feel like a big deal. But it is a big deal at first when you're mates.
Yeah.
And you have to start raising those things. It's like but I say it to anyone now in bands doing anything slightly similar, or if you are quite independent, just like normalize that chat, because it'll just boil. Do you know what I mean? If you don't talk to each other about how you feel or those things, it will blow your band up eventually. So I'm glad we were forced into doing them. But I always would say, if you're in a band and you're doing it, like just try and normalize those hard conversations. The sooner the better.
Definitely good advice that people need to take. With Sleep Society, why didn't you chart register that?
Because we wanted to distribute it from Drop Dead.
Right.
Because it was in COVID. All the people who work in that place are friends of ours, really. And we've got it's like during Sleep Society kind of started in COVID. It was actually totally planned to happen regardless. Right. And then COVID happened, and it just kind of felt like a counter to that situation. But it was kind of nice that happened that way, because we just all started working in this thing, and it did well because everyone was on the computers and those things. Like that online community was the perfect timing for that. But one of the nice things that happened with it when we launched it, and it did well on the launch, and COVID had just sort of struck, we instantly were like, let's hire the crew. So we hired all of our touring crew, or a bunch of them, to work full-time or part-time for us at the warehouse on things that weren't their usual jobs. So like James, who's our tour manager, was like tour managing the Patreon, and then Lacey, who's our merch guy, was distributing and packing the packs and like all the membership stuff, and Barnsey, who Barnsey he's a guitar tech now, but he's been our content guy for years. We were like, you can just be our full-time content guy, because we need to make all this content. So it felt really important at that time that we were using the money to sort of help support our group in that time. And it's kind of messed up chart registering, because if you want to chart register, you have to sell your music through like a registered distribution warehouse. But then you can't distribute yourself. I understand it, so you can't cheat. But like for us, it would have meant that we have to like start going down that route of like fitting in someone else's box.
Yeah.
And like, we're not here to join that rat race. Like, it's great if you did that, but like the way that heavy bands get in the charts is that you compile all those pre-sales that hit on that first week, but then you could get knocked off by a pop star who actually sells that many things in that first week. And so you could like kill yourself for a year selling pre-sales. and think you're going to do well, and then like a bunch of pop records just knock you out water, and you're in a rowing boat while like a fucking cruise ship goes past. It's just, and to get what? Do you know what I mean? To achieve, like, to get this like award from something that really doesn't, I don't know, like for me, that's not the mountain I'm trying to climb.
Yeah.
Like,
Does it have any further impact?
I think
career?
I think it like affects your status, and it becomes like a chip you can play, you know, and you can say, yeah, we've got a number one, or like on your URW, it was actually unintentional, really, that we ended up. That was just about us becoming independently successful, and then that managed to be top 10. But yeah, since then we've always been a bit like, what's more important? And at that time, it was way more important to go, we're working with our friends, we're keeping them in jobs,